Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Harmony House. How many are here for the very first time joining us? Welcome. And how many of you haven't been here in a while? Welcome. And we do have some regulars, and thank you for coming out. In this, we're getting a little chilly out there, aren't we? Right. So tonight we're going to talk about blessings, and we're beginning a brand new month. And anyone have any idea why we're calling it the month of blessings? Well, we got a big holiday coming up at the end of the month. That's right, Thanksgiving. Oh, and I have to welcome Zoomers. Hi, Zoomers. Welcome. So in the inspiration, I think, for the theme of the month was the fact that we're all going to celebrate in America Thanksgiving. And so we tend to be very grateful and thankful. So I just have a small question for you. I mean, what's a blessing? What is it? Do you get them? Do you give them? We got students here, right? What do you think? Anybody want to hazard to start us off? Have you ever been blessed? Yeah. All right. So maybe if we close our eyes and think of a time that we actually felt. Now listen, the flyer that you may have seen this evening promises to awaken greatness and prosperity. And we know you're not here to learn how to make a lot of money, right? So when you think of feeling prosperous from our spiritual terms, from the spiritual point of view, when you think of being blessed or feeling, there's an energy shift, right? So if you can think of one moment in your life when you had that shift in energy, paying attention to the real you, not the one who's wearing a uniform or playing a role, but the real you. No, the real you that all of a sudden you can be very ordinary, not in any kind of, or in a bad mood. And then all of a sudden something happens and it does something to transport your feelings, right? For example, the birth of my first child. I looked in that crib and I had a surge of energy in my body because I still had energy because he was newborn. And then just about when he was about, I don't know, 8 weeks old, and I was tired raising a newborn. I was really tired, feeding them in the middle of the night. And then all of a sudden I go over to the crib one day and he looks me right in the eye and he smiles at me. It wasn't gas, it was smile, real smile. Any of you parents here know that feeling? And his father comes home and I say, go say hi to Eric. He said, what? I said, go say hi to Eric. It was a moment. That was my moment. And I want to introduce Sister Tina, who's going to, I'm sure, explain from a very spiritual point of view exactly what blessings mean to us. Anyone have a blessing to share? Anybody want to recapture that feeling? Just close your eyes and feel something that happened to you where you felt blessed. Or have you ever been blessed by someone? Well, I'm going to let you think about it. And I'm sure that Sister Tina will inspire you to think of something. Okay? I'm shy tonight. Zoomers, you can't talk yet. Okay. All right. So let me tell you a little bit about Sister Tina. Okay. She is a research scientist, actually. She has a Ph.D. in plant science. And I know those of you who come regularly have met her before. And she's been a student of Raj Yoga and a teacher of Raj Yoga meditation for over 25 years. And she actually lives here at Harmony House and serves here at Harmony House from her spiritual perspective. Always, I mean, we have a nice personal relationship. I do a lot of things with her, and I can tell you that her heart and her spirituality is in everything she does because she's coming first from everything that the Brahma Kumaris represent as far as peace and graciousness. So, and of course, applying that to, you know, practical life and all that is the aim, is the goal. You know, the Brahmins don't go off and meditate and it's just them. And they put on suits during the day. They're professionals, many of them. They're people who work and they go out there and they carry what they learn here into the real world, which is, I'll tell you, a job and a half because I spend most of my time in the real world with grandchildren and people that are very close to me and trying to navigate my way and hold on to the blessings and the things you're going to learn tonight. So, Sister Tina, will you join us? And thank you. Enjoy the evening.
Good evening. Greetings, warm greetings, everyone. So happy to see you all in person. And of course, those who are online. Thank you for joining. I do want to say thank you to Louis for preparing these beautiful flowers here and welcoming me with so many kind words. I am not right now a research scientist. I used to be, but currently I am fully living here. I am totally committed to this practice and to share the teachings and learnings that we are learning here. So it's true that we all practice gratitude, we all practice giving good wishes to each other, probably throughout the year, right? We don't have to wait and keep our Thanksgiving resort for Thanksgiving Day on 24th of November, right? But the team at Harmony House felt that if we want to cultivate something more consciously, and we want to practice this attitude of gratitude in a conscious way, active way, then this is a very good day and it's a very good month to start. And so that's why the theme was chosen with that in mind. So before I dive deeper into this topic, I just want to know from you, what is gratitude? What is gratitude according to you? Anyone wants to share? What is gratitude? What will you say? So people call it with they have different ideas. Someone calls it that it is queen of all the virtues. There are some people who call that it's memory of the heart. There are some people who say that it is a condition of giving thanks. Somebody said it's a feeling of appreciation. Somebody said it's the highest and the purest vibration that is available to us. And there was one person who told me that it is mindset of gratefulness. So there are so many ideas around this, but what is most important is that it is an emotion or a feeling that we can actually develop. Right? Even if we are not born with it, it can be, developed. And so I was thinking that majority of us know about gratitude. We know how it feels. We know how we can practice it. We know how we can cultivate it. And we know the science behind it, right? So I was thinking in my mind, do I really need to dive into all these things? Because it's so much is known about it. But coming from my research background, I like to experiment. I like to do some studies and discover something more. And so just a little bit I will share, not going into too much depth of it. But what I understood is that there is a lot of research done, especially those of you who know the famous scientist who was also the professor of philosophy, Dr. Robert Emmons. And he's spent majority of his lifetime researching these kinds of emotions and especially gratitude. And when scientists were actually researching about this, which is the most powerful quality or feeling that has the power to change the entire brain, or that has the power to change the entire body or relationships, your thinking pattern, your life, in a very magical way, they found it is the feeling of gratitude. And you might know about this famous experiment that was done with 3 specimen samples, where they took 3 groups of people, and one group of people were said that you have to write consciously, you have to express in the writing form, thank you or gratitude, for 3 weeks. And the second group was told that you can just think about it. You don't have to write. And then the third group was said, you don't have to do anything. You can think whatever, food, fashion, clothes, whatever. And then the studies have shown that when their brain centers were imaged and the images were examined, the brain centers at the base, which is also called the center for happiness or center for bliss, the neural connections there were more illuminated. And this was the studies that were showing that when you practice gratitude, significant changes are happening in the neural connections. One is that, but then the second part that they found was also that there is a lot of brain rewiring, if you say, the restructuring of the brain that was happening, where the person is now naturally thinking positive. Even if I am in a negative environment, even if I am present with negative people, even if I'm influenced, there are influences of negative nature or whatever, still natural attention is going towards positive thinking. So this was something amazing that they found, and they saw the changes were happening at the prefrontal cortex, which is the decisive brain, and the amygdala, which is the emotional brain. And when they saw that there was profound synchronicity in a powerful way that was happening in these 2 places, they realized that the people who were practicing gratitude had much better lifestyle, had much more well-being that they were experiencing, sleeping better, being more successful, very balanced, very happy. So everything was significantly higher, richer in their lives compared to the other groups. And so what I realized that definitely there is powerful science that is working behind gratitude. Yes, you'll agree? Yeah. So then the obvious question that I had for myself, and I want to ask you also, because when I was thinking about this topic, I asked myself this question: do I practice gratitude consciously? And so I'm asking you this question: how many of you practice gratitude consciously? Consciously. You do? I don't practice it consciously, but I'm pretty mindful about it. And I try not to miss to say thank you. But I also had a realization, if I have to be honest with you, that there are times when I am not grateful. There are times when I say, oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. This shouldn't be like this. And so I was asking myself, why do I fall in those kinds of moments? What is happening at that time? Why I am not able to express gratitude even in those moments? And the realization I had was that there are 2 premises that are required. One is that I have to be aware that there is goodness still present around me. There are still good people, there are still good things happening to me. And if I have that shift in my perspective, then I can change my thought pattern. But also the second premise I felt, which was very important, is that I have to accept that goodness from people, goodness from nature is flowing towards me. I am experiencing goodness. And so when I have this kind of affirmative thought, I am actually allowing my mindset to grow. So what we are suggesting here is that you're actually making conscious effort to change your perspective. I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, there is a person in our lives with whom we don't do very well. And suddenly what happens to our mind? Our mind begins to think, I can't work with this person. I can't deal with this person. I can't gel along with this person. And then the next thought the mind will have, I don't know what problem they have with me. They're always having a problem, right? And then the next thought, no matter what I do, they always find fault in me. No matter how much ever effort I make, they're never content with me. So you see how the mind starts to think, right? Now, when the mind is thinking like this, that's where we have to become alert and pay attention, because spirituality tells us every thought carries a vibration. So now if I'm thinking like this, my mind is creating such thoughts, then the vibrations that are being created, where are they going? They're going to that person, right? Now, will the problem increase or decrease? The problem will increase. Will my relationship be good or not so good? The conflict will increase more, right? So we understand this, right? We understand this, how the mind creates thought, how the thought has a vibration, the vibration reaches the person, the problem increases, and the conflict in relationship continues. Now, when I know this, what is needed, therefore, is that I have to pay attention. God bless you. I have to pay attention that I want to find a solution now. What is the solution? The solution is I need to change the vibration. How will I change the vibration? That's the question. How will I change the vibration? How many of you have experienced effect or influence of the state of mind on plants, or have noticed? How many of you seen it? Has anyone seen effect of the state of mind on plants? Plants? No, no. You know people who, you don't talk though. Okay. So you do this experiment for 1 month. You take 2 plants. I come from plant science background, so I know this, and I have a big story to tell, but I will see if I have time. You take 2 plants and you keep one plant in one corner of the house and other in other corner. And every day you go to water. The first plant that you go to water, you start to have these thoughts. Besides all the work that I have to do now, I have to water this plant also. This is too much. Why can't somebody else water this plant? Why only I have to water you? Why only I have to take care of you? Why can't somebody else take the responsibility? Why I have to be always responsible? And then you're watering the plant. Yeah, you're still watering the plant, but look at the thoughts. Yeah. So the thoughts are thoughts of compulsion. Now, when you go to water the second plant, you go there with a lot of love and you say, oh, this is my beautiful creation, new thing in the house. And I'm going to give I'm very happy to see you. I like that you're blossoming and I'm happy to give you water. Now you create these thoughts and you see what will happen. You can imagine, right? The watering is same amount, same time, same person, but the thoughts are different and you will see the difference. Now, whole day, we work so hard for our children, for our family, for our people, for our workplace. And then when we come home and we are so tired and we're so exhausted and we are cooking food and we are thinking, why am only I have to cook the food? This is not fair. Can't somebody else help? So when you're cooking, you're creating thoughts of worry or you're creating thoughts of stress. Or let's say, for example, you're going to work, but you say that this is the main cause of my stress is my work. The main cause of my problem is this workplace. I don't know why I have to come here. I don't know why I have to do this. So this is the place from where you're earning money, from where you're going to get your money to buy your food. And then when you're going to cook your food, what is the thoughts that you're creating? So what I'm trying to say is that when you're creating these thoughts of worry, thoughts of stress, thoughts of tiredness, thoughts of compulsion, thoughts of criticism, thoughts of competition, thoughts of comparison, thoughts of worry, tension, whatever, the energy of the being decreases. Every time you create these thoughts, whether you're driving, whether you're going to work, whether you're cooking, whether you're doing house chores, if you're doing this out of compulsion, out of competition, the energy of the being is decreasing. Now, I'm not negating the fact that we don't have problems. I understand that, life is not 100% perfect. But very safely, we can say that 95% of our life is good, right? Maybe 2-3% or 5%, there is some problem. Yeah, everyone? 95% of our life is good. But where do we focus? How many of you drove here? You drove here. Did you say thank you to your car? You did? Very good. It brought you safely. It was your tool to be able for you to reach here in time. But imagine if the car is not functioning well and the tire is flat, then suddenly you start saying, oh, this tire is not good. This is not right time. All of those thoughts kind of come, right? So when my attention is going to things that I don't want to see, then that keeps growing. If I keep saying, I don't like this, then that's what keeps growing. And so 5% will become 10% and 95% will become 90%, right? And the vice versa is true too. If I focus on the 95% that is good, it will become 98%. The 5% will become 3%. This is the equation that I have to remember. Wherever I am sending my energy, I am allowing that thing to blossom in my life. Whatever I'm sending my energy. But what we do, we tend to take it for granted. 95% good that is happening in our lives, good, we take it for granted. Right? When we have water, we are so happy. One day, if there is no water, we start crying, right? But how many times we say thank you to water? Right? So what I'm trying to bring to your attention is that we need an uncomplicated mind. Mind that is clean, clear, simple, easy. Mind that can constantly help us to create very good thoughts. So let me ask you a question. If something good happens to you or somebody does good to you, you will say thank you to them, right? You will express your gratitude. Now, if somebody doesn't do good to you, what will you do? You will still bless them? How many of you still will bless them? Consciously, somebody is doing bad to you, Lisa, you will say thank you to them? In your heart, you will say thank you? Sure? Why? Why? Why should I say thank you to somebody who's creating trouble in my life? Hmm. Hmm. It feels lighter. Okay. Any other answer? Why I should be, somebody who's doing good to me, definitely I should be overflowing with thankfulness or gratefulness towards them, no doubt. But somebody who's not doing good to me, who is consciously creating problem in my life, huh? You push them. Hmm. No, but we're learning here. We're learning here to change the mindset, right? I have to express gratitude to them also. Why? Because my power increases. How? If everybody praises me, my arrogance can go up, right? Which is not good for my spiritual growth. So if somebody is not praising me, somebody is not talking good about me, somebody is insulting me, I still express gratitude for them because my power increases. My capacity or power to forgive increases. My humility increases. My capacity to be stable, no matter what the outside situation is, remains up. One of the teachings from this morning's discourses, we have discourses every day in the morning. And one of the teachings was that my father wants me to be happy all the time. What is the desire of my father? My father's desire is that I should be happy all the time. And I was like, always happy? How will I be that? And I got the answer that when I have this mindset of thankfulness in any and every given situation, automatically I will feel more happy. And so one of the teachings we are taught is that no matter whether somebody is insulting you, praising you, saying good things about you, saying bad things about you, you remain stable. Balance is the forerunner of perfection, they say. So if I can maintain a balanced state in that, that is something that is going to help me. How do I practice this? You practice this in the times when somebody's praising you. Let's say somebody tells me, oh, you're so wonderful. You're so good. What are they showing in that moment? When they're showing, when they're telling you, you're so good, you're so wonderful, there are how many? 10, 12 people, 15 in the room. And if all of you were to say good things about me, right? Everyone will say something different, right? Let's take example of this beautiful flower here, right? If somebody, one of you might say, oh, they're so pretty, they're so beautiful. Someone else might say, they're really very beautiful. Somebody will say, I've never seen such beautiful flowers on the table. Now, what are they showcasing? What are they showing? They're really showing their own mindset. They're really showing, or it is reflecting their thoughts. It is reflecting their choices. It is reflecting their well-being. It is reflecting their thoughts, right? And so what you say about somebody is not dependent on that somebody. It is really dependent on your mindset. What place you are in. That's what it is showing. So if you all praise these flowers, will these flowers start to blossom more or less? Are they blossoming more or less? Huh? Or if somebody criticizes them, will they wilt more or less? Not really, right? That natural nature of the flower is to blossom, and they will continue to blossom. And so, yes, people are talking about me. Sometimes they're talking on my face. Sometimes they're talking behind me. But I have to maintain this awareness that when they're saying something, what are they reflecting? It is reflecting their own mindset. Somebody will tell you, oh, I want to live rest of my life with you. And there will be somebody who will tell, I can't live with you for 1 minute. So is the problem with you or them? Right? So you see where I'm coming from? I have to realize that I have to change my mindset. I have to change my perspective. And so when I express my gratitude, I am empowering myself. And when I empower myself, I am actually invoking goodness in my life. I am invoking abundance in my life. And that is what is the greatness that we want to achieve, the life of blessings that I want to live. That's why I loved that song in the beginning. I don't want to be, in that victim mode or, oh, people are saying this about me. Oh, I'm not so good. No, you awaken your greatness, and you can do this by simply changing your perspective, how you look at life. Yeah. So I invite you all to go into this meditative mode now. I will request Brother Eric to play the PowerPoint. It's just absorb it and feel, and then just be that, whatever you're seeing on the screen. And then come back again. You enjoy? The whole focus is on I, right? I have to express gratitude for myself first. I have to recognize who I am. Right? And then I can recognize that same goodness, that same beauty in others. You remember the premise that I was talking about? That there is goodness around me. There are good people. There are still good things happening to me. And I allow that goodness to flow into me. When I hold on to these two things, then it becomes easy for me to cultivate gratitude. One of the things that I want to say today, you can accept it or you can leave it. No compulsion. But I want to give you a 30-day challenge. If you feel you can take it, you take it. If you feel it's not for you, it's fine. But the 30-day challenge is to express your gratitude in writing form. And then if you feel comfortable, the step 2 is actually to go and express it out loud to that person or to that thing. And then third step is to write the feeling that emerges from that. Because they say the highest, the most powerful mantra to rise above all negativity is to practice gratitude. And I was just thinking for myself, I figured out there are 8 areas in my life that we can express gratitude for. So one is my mind, then the body, then the relationships. The relationships will include all the people, whether people in your family, people in your workplace, people in your neighborhood, whatever, right? All people. So mind, body, relationships, money, time, nature. That means it will include plants, animals, 5 elements, right? Water, earth, air, all of that. And then situations, whatever situations are coming in your life, because those situations are actually supporting me to grow. Those situations are helping me to go above and become more than what I think I can be. And then, of course, we can't forget God, the Supreme Father, right? So there are 8 areas that I felt I can recognize and I can constantly express my gratitude towards them. If you look at the circle of interaction that you have in your life, you bring your attention again and again back to this fact that I know they care for me. I know they love me. I know they understand me. I know they are doing their best. So when you're sending these thoughts in your circle of interaction, you're naturally creating good thoughts. Good thoughts will decrease the problem and increase beauty in the relationship. Whereas if in my circle of interaction, I keep thinking, oh, this one is like this one is like this one always does this, then that's the thought I'm sending. And so automatically I will create more distance in my relationship, right? So the call for all of you is to experience this life of gratitude, new life of gratitude, where I am constantly expressing my appreciation for every moment, every second, for everyone, every situation, every person, for myself, for others, and for God. Yeah. So right now I will ask Lois to please share. She will hand out the little card that I have for you all, and you can write at least you started today. Yeah, because they say now is the best moment. So you started now, 5 points you can write of gratitude. Yeah, or more. Yeah, you can. Yes, yes. Please share. Those online, if you have a paper and pen, then you can please take it and just write, right now. You don't have to think much. In the moment, you can just write 5 points of gratitude. And then you can carry this practice with you. Oh, Louis, they need pencils also. Okay. Yes. And when you're done, you let me know. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. Yes. Thank you again, everyone, for your presence. That's where I will stop. And if you have any questions or any comments or anything you want to share, we can open it up. Yeah, Louis, any clarification, anything you want to share?
Earlier, the expression an attitude of gratitude. The first time I ever heard that was from someone in a 12-step program. And I happen to know that we have a lot of people on Zoom, I don't know, maybe here, who have participated, have reached a point in their lives where they hated themselves because of their addictive personality. And that's where, from someone in the 12-step group, I heard an attitude of gratitude. And it's exactly what Sister Tina was talking about as far as turning your life around and understanding the goodness within that's been buried by whatever you bury it with, whatever kind of dirt we use, and we get into fixes. But that whole idea of an attitude, and it's what this person learned was that it's not just about drinking or drugging and giving it up. That's where the work begins to work on oneself. The way the beautiful video, I thought that video was just so touching, didn't you? Yeah, beautiful.
That was an exercise of writing gratitude from every letter, A, B, C, D. If you observed, I don't know, but it was all the alphabets. Of course, I missed X, Y, Z, but it was all the alphabets were used to express your gratitude. And we have so many virtues and qualities in our lives that we can be expressing those.
And especially now, as you pointed out, that times are so ugly sometimes, and we turn on the news and it's ugly, and TV, it can be very frightening. But I always have a place inside of me that I can reach into. Even when, in fact, sometimes when it gets really bad on a personal level or even on a global level, it forces me to look at the higher part of me. Anybody ever experienced that? It just forces you because you have to, because we're survivors and we're loving beings. And the greatest secret of all that I've learned is to help someone else. Because if I want to get out of my own attitude that may be withering in the moment, the phone rings and someone needs a hand, or you call someone who's lonely or whatever. And it feels like kind of a gimmick because it lifts me out of my own, whatever it is, but it gets to be a new habit to replace old habits of self-centeredness and self-consciousness and whatever you might be suffering from. So I also wanted to give a shout out, a little commercial to Sister Susan on Sundays has a little group. All you need in order to attend, it's now on Zoom only, is to be a member of any 12-step program in the world. So if you're interested, call Harmony House and they can tell you about that. I think it's Sundays at 4 for Zoom.
Anyone here wants to share?
Anyone here? Or I don't see any chats on Zoom yet. Anybody? Lucia.
Anyway, thank you so much for your presentation. And actually, the first thing that I put is gratitude for me tonight. Just I'm grateful that I am here. I am grateful that I could just listen to you and what a beautiful meeting. And on a personal basis, I remember a program where the suggestion that was given to me actually was an instruction that every morning I had to write the gratitude list. And at the moment, I really didn't understand why. And I did it for a little bit over 9 months. Every day I had to write. And I do understand. Today, actually, I understand why. Because it really gave me the sense. First, the day was already better.
Yes.
Because I felt this positive sense. I felt how blessed I was by so many things. And then during the day, I would just look at things and say, wait a minute, I'm really blessed that I am not in this situation. I'm grateful.
Yes.
And I believe that I developed that sense of living with gratitude. When you were saying before, if somebody is nasty to me, why do I say thank you? And actually, I do say thank you. Because thank you for giving me the opportunity of improving my patience,
right,
or improving my way of being able to love somebody in spite of themselves. Thank you again.
Very beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
We have 2 comments in chat.
Yes,
Did you say something before I go to that?
No, I just want to see if anybody else wants to. You want to share anything? Any one of you? Oh, there. Louis.
Okay. Did I have my
Hi.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you for this very beautiful presentation. And two things occurred to me when you talked about how do you deal with people that are unkind to you and still be thankful. And the first is that based on what you said, that you know, it's not really about us. People, it's really what people think and say is really about them and their own attitudes. That's helpful to realize that. And what also that giving me an opportunity to practice
Right.
overcoming, being patient,
Yes.
and and overcoming temper. So they're really helping me in that. In that way, I could be thankful.
Mhm. Yes. Yes.
And we have a beautiful comment from a Zoomer. How can I feel? Well, good question. How can I feel peaceful when my personal decision for myself is not what my partner wants? And then someone else said they have gratitude for this beautiful spiritual journey. And here's another one, as long as you can choose what you want. I am grateful to have discovered the power of generosity that is so natural and uplifting. I am grateful for smiles.
Mm.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Zoomers.
Very nice. And you actually, if you know in your heart that you're listening to your feelings, you're listening to your intuition, you know that you're going on the right path, then it's okay if your partner is not very happy right now. But eventually he will realize and he will also come along with you. But you can keep sending him good wishes that it's okay for him to not be okay, because that might help you to think twice if you're on the right journey, if you took the right decision, because it will help you to look at more reasons and find out if there is something that I have missed looking at. And so you take that as a opportunity to check once again if your decision is good. And then if you feel internally good about it, then it's okay for him to not be okay. That's what I feel.
So true.
Yeah. All right. With that, I want to say thank you to our brother Eric for being in the sound room. He's always here on Thursday nights. So I really appreciate that. And I thank Louis for being such a beautiful MC. And thank you, everyone, for your presence. It really makes a difference when you show up in person. It makes us or me feel so good. So thank you. And thank you, everyone, for being on the Zoom as well. So we'll just take 2 minutes of silence, complete silence.
Before you do that, I just want to announce that next week we have Sister Anjani, who's going to talk about gratitude and responsibility. Try and come in person if you can. And thanks for coming tonight.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's just take a moment of silence and express our gratitude for ourselves and for this space, for this time. Just in silence. Thank you, each one with your names. Om Shanti. Have a good night.
We have a little something sweet for you. It's holy and a blessing on your way out. Om Shanti. Thank you again, Sister Tina.